What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking with Greg Graywall all about what's happening with the water basin here in the North County. Greg, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, Randy, for having me.
Yeah, so this is
an honor.
It's kind of a big thing going on, and a lot of people aren't 100% aware of what's happening, right?
Yeah, you're correct. Well, this has been happening since 2012, and you can kind of go back to the original part of the management from 2005. So there's a lot of documentation and things looking at our basin. And when I say our basin, it's the Paso Robles basin. Every basin in the state of California has a number. And the Department of Water Resources for the state has identified the 515 basins throughout the state of California. And we're one of them. And it extends into Monterey a little bit, and it includes the Atascadero subbasin. So it's like 600,000 acres.
Wow.
So when you look at Paso Robles, they're 12,500 acres, but they have 34,000 people. And San Miguel, which is part of this, is under 3,000 acres. I don't even think they're maybe 5 square miles. The little town of Shandon has maybe 1,000 people. And each of those agencies has a water district. So Paso Robles Water District takes care of their boundary, and because they're a city, they have land use authority. The CSD, it's a county district, is a county service district. That's San Miguel. They have a fire department, one fire truck. They have a water department, a sewer department, a lighting department. They don't have land use authority, but they have the authority to operate those things. But their water district is just their specific boundary of that CSD. Now you go to Shandon. The little town of Shandon is a CSA. They're a county service area. And the county of San Luis Obispo is their water district for the, let's say, 1,000 people that live in that community. It's not all of Shandon, it's just the little town part. And so they use about 100 acre feet of water a year. San Miguel uses under 300, close to 300 acre feet. Paso Robles obviously uses the most.
Right.
All of those groups together are about 15 to 16,000 acres out of the 600,000 acres. Now the irrigated ag over the basin is 40,000 acres roughly. They use 90% of the water. Those other agencies use 7% of the water. And the rest of us that live over the basin and over the areas that are de minimis users, and even if you're not a de minimis user, which means the amount you use is so small, it's not worth counting. We're 3% of the issue. And that includes, if you have horses or you have whatever you have on your property. So when you think about it, you have certain groups that have a border, and it's their requirement to take care of what's inside of that. The county of San Luis Obispo is not the water district of the unincorporated area. Everybody that lives on a well pretty much is their own water district.
Right, because they pay for the well. They if they dries up, they have to pay to go deeper. So
yeah, so in the state of California, you have the beneficial right to use the water beneath your land on your land. You don't have the right to sell it, exchange it, transfer it, or export it. In fact, till 2012, it was illegal to catch your rainwater. Until they figured,
that's crazy.
So the state of California pretty much thinks that all the water that lands on the ground belongs to them. The surface water, which is called riparian water, was always managed through permitting after 1914 because of the gold rush and stuff. Groundwater was never managed, but any discrepancies or problems with groundwater was dealt with through the courts. And there is a legal action that's been going on for 11 years. It'll be done here in this final year. and there's been 5 trials within the bigger thing, and 1 stipulated agreement. I happen to be part of that, so I've been to the Superior Court 32 times, and on court Zoom meetings for at least 12 times, and the portion over COVID took an extra 3 years to get 5 days of trial just because of COVID and 1 deal. So, but setting that aside, you got to look at who's the issues.
So Greg, what's going on? Like for an outsider like myself, doesn't know a lot about what this whole fight is, the water basin fight. This is more of the rural, agriculture. You got wineries. We always hear they're using up all the water and this and that. So what's the base of this? The simplified version.
Well, the simplified version is that the cities and the CSDs and the towns wanted to have an equal priority to the people that live over the land, which includes the wineries and the people that farm. They're part of the people that live over the land. So when you have a well and that's your only source of water, you're called an overlier. When you're in a city or a town or some kind of agency that has a water district and stuff, you're an appropriator. So you're in the back seat. The priority seat goes to the overlier because he has no other source. Mm-hmm. The city of Paso has the Salinas River. They get water from the Atascadero Sub-Basin besides the Paso Robles Basin, and they have Nacimiento water. So they have other avenues to compensate for what they may or may not be able to take. And there is a court order on how much Paso Robles and San Miguel and the county acting as the water district in Shannon are allowed to take from the basin if they're claiming there's a problem. And they've been ignoring that. But it's actually a court order that was signed June 6th of 2019. So the people that live over the land have that priority right. It's given to them in the state constitution. These guys are supposed to be following the state constitution. They swear to that when they get elected to their positions, and then they look the other way. So they want to change who has the authority to tell who how much water they get to use. And like you were saying, if you're a private landowner over the basin, you had to get a permit to put in a well. So that permit was part of, if you built a house, you're going to have water, and you're going to have a septic system. And so you paid for the permit, you paid to put the well in, you paid to maintain the well, you built all your infrastructure, that's your system of works, and then and if there's any problem with that, you have to repair it. That's out of your pocket. The county's not doing anything to do that, or neither is this make-believe agency called the Paso Basin Cooperative Committee. They're all taking care of their individual areas. So this new tax they want to do is a extraction fee. They want to just come up with a number to say, well, we think you should pay this much, and it's for management of the basin. Well, if they don't provide me with anything, what are they managing? The management part that they should be doing, they're ignoring because they have no legal authority to tell you how much water you can use on your land.
But they want to.
And this is why
they want to put their hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah. And this is in 2013. This is why they came up with a planting ordinance to limit planting of new crops, promised to be a 2-year timeout when the Board of Supervisors did it, didn't stop Paso Robles from adding hotels and spas and irrigating their golf courses and doing whatever else. It was only against the landowners that lived out over the basin who have the priority right. So Bruce Gibson, a supervisor.
This is where who's spearheading this, right?
Right. So Bruce Gibson is a supervisor. He's had 4 terms. He's finished. He's got another term he's in right now. People don't know he won by 13 votes when they didn't count for 13 days when they found 322 ballots in a closet.
Right.
And he got contributions in the thousands, over 52,000 from these other 2 agencies that are quote unquote water districts. And he sat on boards to make sure that they could get shoved through even though it was illegal. And so all this stuff is finally sort of coming to a head. This is why I appreciate this opportunity. There's two water districts. One's called the San Juan Water District. That's the Shandon area around the town. And the other one's called the Estrella El Pomar Creston Water District, EPC. Originally, back in 2005, those guys were known as the prior. There was an agreement, and they were what was called prior. They were the property owners that was making an agreement with these other agencies. Then you fast forward to 2014. They were spearheading a thing called Assembly Bill 2453. That would be a special water district and a special tax for that water district. That got voted down by almost 80%. The county spent $1 million. So Supervisor Gibson again was spearheading that special election. The county spent $1 million. These two groups, known as PRAGs, put together $500,000, and 10 of us painting signs in my yard had $20,000, and we beat them. It was the biggest loss in the state of California. We beat them by almost 80%.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's the same people over the same basin, and now they're coming back with a different way to try to get a vote. And what they're trying to do now is they want to make a different group they want those same groups to join in a thing called a joint powers agreement. And then they want to claim that they're going to give you management. And because of that management, they're allowed to tax you. They're going to call it a fee. And that's the extraction fee that they're going to come up with. And then their vote is going to be different. It's not going to be, I vote yes, I vote no. A Proposition 218 vote is a protest vote. If you do nothing, you're an automatic yes. If you don't protest to be a no, then you're going to be counted as a yes. And so we're not sure at this minute, because an extraction fee, are they just going to identify the properties with wells because it's an extraction of water? And the state constitution and SGMA, the thing that they're working under, the Sustainability Groundwater Management Act, does not change any water law. So they have no authority to tax you on your water. So they're all making,
this is a makeshift.
Yeah. They keep doing things and waiting to see if somebody's going to sue them. So going back to these two water districts that used to be part of the other group, they're the same guys. You got Jay Lohr, you got Stuart Resnick. If anybody doesn't know who Stuart Resnick is, he owns Justin Winery. He's the guy that knocked down 8,000 oak trees over on the west side. And
everybody is all fired up.
Yeah, and then, what happened to him? Nothing.
I think he gave a bunch of money to something and, kind of put some frosting on.
Yeah. One of the other guys is Steve Senton. Steve Senton worked for the Department of Water Resource for about 5 years as an attorney. And all of a sudden, all this stuff starts happening when he comes home, and he is on the Water Resources Advisory Committee for the county, which I am also. And he initiates them to do a water banking study. Well, a water banking study is because they want to find water from somewhere, put it in the ground when they claim there's space to put it there. That allows them to take over that space. And then that allows them, that water is not treated as groundwater. That's treated as their water that they can sell and export later or do what they want to do with. So they want to use your garage to park their car and not give you anything about it. So all of this stuff is to monetize the value of water. And grapes are a cover crop. We have a lot of people in our basin, in our area, that are proud to be vintners and to make Paso Robles a beautiful place that people can come and visit and tour and taste their wines and do whatever. And those are more the honest farmers and the people that have a passion for what they're doing. These corporations, it's just an investment. Harvard University in their endowment bought 10,000 acres in Shandon. They don't have a wine label. They didn't even pick their grapes the first year. They started planting and doing it. This was all, their endowment only invests in natural resources. That would be water, lumber, things like that, some kind of minerals. And now they got a Canadian pension fund that's invested with them in that land. They're not here.
They're not here to make it great.
Yeah, they're not here to do wine. So going back to those two water districts, to be formed as a water district with a non-contiguous boundary, which means their boundary doesn't connect. There's people inside of there that didn't want to be part of their thing. You have to petition to do that. You have to have 50% of the land over the common source of water. So what's the common source of water? It's the basin. They do not own more than 50% of the land over the basin. Then you also have to have a system of works. And all these are in the water code, right, listed perfect. A system of works is a way to move that water. This is why, because they're a non-contiguous boundary, they can be up to 2 miles apart. And they have to have canals, piping, or something to move that water those 2 miles. They can't be further than that. That's why those two groups had to split up into become two groups instead of the one group that they were. So they didn't meet the criteria to petition to be a water district, and the agency, the local agency that forms districts, just looked the other way, because who was sitting on the board voting on it? Bruce Gibson. Everything comes back to Bruce Gibson. Bruce Gibson.
So he's the puppet master.
Yeah, yeah. And the other two people that he gets to vote with him, look, we have the 1st district and the 5th district over the Paso Basin. The 1st district is John Pashong. The 5th district was Supervisor Debbie Arnold, who had just retired. Now it's Heather Moreno. And Bruce was just so kind to make Heather, now that she's new, his alternate. He had his, I call him his new dog, Blaine Reilly, the sustainability groundwater management guy for the county, because the first thing he taught him is how to roll over. But Bruce Gibson wasn't elected by any constituent that lives over the basin. The two people voting with Bruce Gibson, Don Ortiz-Legg, one of the other supervisors from the 3rd district, and the 4th district supervisor, Jimmy Paulding, weren't voted by any constituent over the basin. Yet they're the ones doing all the voting to claim they're managing the basin. I don't want somebody that doesn't live here in my area that I didn't vote for, that's not my water district, telling me what I need to do. They can tell me what I need to do with land use because they're the land use authority and I have to get my permits if I want to build a building or do something like that. And they can tell you through the planning ordinance what you can and can't plant, but they can't tell you how much water you can use or what you can do with it. It's not legal.
So, Greg, what does people need to do? Obviously, this sounds like it's trying to be kind of a low key, trying to keep the word not from getting out, or not from getting out to get the voters to vote against them. So, I mean, what do people got to do, and who does it affect? Does it affect? It sounds like it affects quite a bit of the North County. Yeah,
it affects everybody that's over the Paso Basin first, and the people that are outside the basin. I live outside the basin boundary. I live in what's considered the watershed. So, my area, I'm south of Creston. I'm on a higher point. The water from our area flows into the Creston area, which flows into the basin. But if you're sitting on the edge, you're the next domino to fall. You better not be complacent and think that at some given time, they're not going to reach out and try to touch you. So what we're doing right now is we're just trying to inform people, keep them up to speed, get everybody to be vigilant, pay attention, talk to their neighbors. As soon as we get the proposal, first they have to decide to form to be this joint powers agreement. Then they're going to have to come up with a proposal that's going to have to be approved. I don't know if it's by the county recorder. The stuff's going to come from her office, or county council or what council. They've had 4 lawyers working on this joint powers agreement. 3 of those lawyers are the lawyer that represents Paso Robles, the lawyer that represents San Miguel, and the law firm that represents the county. All 3 of those lawyers are because all 3 of those agencies are defended in that quiet title lawsuit I was talking about. So they have a conflict of interest. At first, they're in a lawsuit with the same people that live over the basin. And now they're trying to backdoor what happens in court and what happened in that last election that I told you about for the special district to come up with a different way to tax the people that they're in a lawsuit with.
That's crazy. This sounds like a lot of like early 1900 stuff. Like, you know, I mean, we're talking about water rights. We're talking about the government coming in, or agencies coming in to tax the people of their own thing.
Yeah. So in the beginning, the first thing I could compare it to when this all started back in 2013, 2012, and then 2013 was the Owens Valley, and how the city of LA and Water and Power went and bought up the land around Mono Lake, and we're not going to hurt the lake, we're not doing anything. Well, they bought all the best property around the lake, and they started pumping the water, and there's an aqueduct that goes from there to Los Angeles, and they sucked so much groundwater the lake went dry. That was over 100 years ago. And then, of course, there was all kinds of court things and legal actions and what they can do, but they created that problem. Well, the Paso Basin is the largest basin here in the Central Coast, on the West Coast. We have somewhere between 31 to 36 million acre feet of water under this basin. They didn't come here by accident. They came here, and then you have the state water line that runs from the I-5 through Lost Hills, up 46 to the Paloma Pass. The water is treated there, so it's chlorinated, and then it goes from in a pipe there all the way to Lake Cachuma. Well, the state doesn't always deliver what you paid for. You're lucky. This year, right now, we're sitting at 20% delivery. Last year, there was 40%. The year before that was 100%. Last year should have been 100% because the rain years in 23 and 24 were beyond outstanding.
Right.
And just to give you a quick number that people don't realize either is that the amount of the basin that this group is supposed to be taking care of is 436,000 acres. Average rainfall in Paso Robles is 14 inches. And it's different around the outlying areas. It's actually more in the out to the west and to the south and stuff. So let's just say it's 12 inches, because that makes it simple. If you get 12 inches of rain on an acre, that's 1 acre foot of water. That's 326,000 gallons of water. So when you have 12 inches of rain on 436,000 acres, you have 436,000 acre feet of water, and we use 90. So if you wanted water to recharge, on the good years, you have plenty of water to recharge if you do what's called stormwater capture. So we don't work on any of the low-hanging fruit, because that solves a problem. If you solve a problem, they can't take over. You have to create a problem and then take advantage of the problem by trying to convince the people, by using fraud, that we need to do something, and it's only going to hurt a little bit, but we all need to do whatever, because how else can they take over?
So, Greg, how are they even positioning this to be a good idea? I mean, what are they just? Is it just trying to be a hush hush and let's get it slid through? Is that the whole concept? Because I mean, everything that you're saying to me sounds like a bad idea for the landowner.
Right. So back to Bruce Gibson. When he took over and kicked Debbie Arnold and John Pashong out of being part of the committee to represent their constituents, he just dealt with those two water districts he helped form that were formed illegally. He gave away half the vote of the county to them, and their claim was, well, they were going to pay for their share of whatever, but he gave away half of the 61% vote to EPC, which was also not allowed to join this group through what they agreed to with that LAFCO, the agency that forms water districts and stuff. So they violated their agreement with how they could form and what they could do. And so their whole deal is a total takeover by those three groups. The other guys are just sitting on the edge, and then again, like I told you, three of the agencies are defendants in the trial. The other two entities used to be a different group that were formed illegally, And they've been trying to, the same people, the same groups have been trying to manage the basin for 25 years and haven't done nothing. All they've done is kick the can down the road. It's a Trojan horse, but they're always looking for more taxes. Bruce Gibson, since he took over, has not had a groundwater sustainability agency meeting for the constituents that he's supposed to represent in over 2 years. So how do you inform, if you're the group that's supposed to be taking care of stuff, how are you informing the constituents that you're supposed to be helping do what they want, not what you want? Why is he working with them, having what's called ex parte meetings, and then not disclosing those in his votes, and he gets his other two, supervisor puppets to go along with him to do what he wants to do, because they haven't had a meeting, they don't inform the people, he's not representing the people, and he's just working with these other agencies that he helped form, and that's not okay with me. It
doesn't sound like it'd be okay with anybody.
I have a room full of documents that you won't believe. I have every report on the basin. I have all the stuff. They're not even using the most correct report on the amount of water. So they have to hire consultants that they tell what they want to happen.
Wow.
They're not agencies that are just I'll hire you. You do a study. However the study comes out, we'll follow how it comes out. That's not how it works. You're going to do a study, we're going to pay you, and here's how we want the study to come out.
So, Greg, obviously the end result, the end goal is tax money, getting money from the landowners. But if somebody, just to kind of put a number on something, if say if this were to go through, say if this were to happen, and homeowners don't take action, they don't, protest, they don't, like you said, either if you don't say anything, you are for it, so to speak.
Yeah.
You've got to protest. If you don't protest, what is somebody likely to be? What's their dollar amount? What are they going to be charged? What kind of taxes do you think?
It's going to start off small, because they're going to try to convince you that it's not that big of a deal. It's only like $1.50 a month. So they don't have any way to measure what you're using because they don't have a meter. If you did have a meter, they're making people that get newer permits put meters, but they don't have anybody to read the meters. So this tax is to pay for another board, another general manager, another attorney. Pretty soon they'll need meter readers when they decide you need meters. And they're building a whole nother government agency that doesn't provide any more water. It's just gonna limit your access and take away your rights and charge you for what you already have the right to do. So this is why we just need you to talk to your neighbors, stay alert, listen to what's up.
What's up, North County?
North County, and pay attention. We're not gonna not let you know what's going on, and we should have a window of like 30 to 45 days. They're trying to shove this through really fast to get it on the tax rolls that they need to have done by July 1st, and I think either July 1st or August 1st, but they're trying to move really quick on doing this so that they can put this on your tax rolls and so that they can start right away and taxing you.
So, Greg, how does somebody, do you guys have a website? Where does people go to get involved, to get more information? So
you can always go to Atascadero, to the Republican office. You can Google the Republican office headquarters in Atascadero. And this is not a Republican-Democrat thing. This is a landowner issue, if you want your rights or you don't want your rights. But we have access to there as far as we have signage coming that we're going to have available for you to more or less make your own protest from your property for people driving by. There'll be more radio spots and commercials, telling the people in North County when things change and what we need to do. We're going to come up with a document, because you're most likely going to have to sign a protest document, print your name, your assessor's parcel number, are you the owner, are you a tenant, and we're going to know what those protests, the total of those protests, before we let the county recorder come up with a number. And her number better match our number.
Right.
Because she comes up with a different number and finds 13 in the closet, there's going to be a problem.
Well, Greg, I appreciate you coming on. And like I said, this seems like a bigger hole, to navigate around. And so, we touched on some good information today as far as like getting the awareness out. Hopefully more people will, share this, amongst everybody else, tag people, just to get you guys have to protest. You guys have to protest in order for this to stop. Right.
And you can always there's one of the vice president of TAG, Murray Powell. He's a great guy to contact. So if you're in the Templeton area, if you're in the San Miguel area, there's board members over there. You can contact, I would contact even the people who maybe you don't know what side they're on, just to let them know how you feel. If it's the city council people in Paso Robles, anybody that's on a council or thing, say, hey, I don't appreciate you doing this. And you know what? You can vote by your dollars. You don't put your dollars into a community that's trying to tax you. And then one last thing. Paso Robles for the last 10 years, they get 6,488 acre feet of water that they can use from Nacimiento. They use about 1,000 or 1,100 of that. They have a facility that can clean that water, and they can only clean 2,688 acre feet. But they're not even using the total amount they could clean. So just think, if they wasted over 5,000 acre feet a year for the last 10 years. And they can't save it. They have to use it or lose it. So in 10 years, they wasted 50,000 acre feet of water they could have put to beneficial use instead of taking water for the basin that they want to tax you on. And if they would have used that NACI, and then after you runs through your house and goes to the treatment facility, instead of dumping it in the river and exporting it to Monterey in the ocean, they could have recharged it back into the basin. That would have been a 10,000 acre foot positive play. That's called best management, not what they're doing, because they don't want the cost. They want you to pay the cost, and they'll be in charge and tell you what you need to pay them so that they can do what they want to do.
Unbelievable. Well, Greg, I appreciate you coming on, and look forward to some more of these segments, because I think it's going to be needed for the North County people.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity, and anytime and every time we get some new information, you guys will be notified.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in and sharing this information.
Thank you very much.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, if you guys are North County based, this water basin thing is something that you should be very alert of and be a part of and voice your opposition towards it. So look into it and make sure you guys talk to your neighbors. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, North County Junk Removal, The Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Suprema Meat Markets. Thanks again, guys. Make your voice known.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5600 5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hopefully I have all the answers.
Yeah.
I tried to.
Yeah, like I said, the biggest thing is, you know, because some people will get in here and I'll ask a question and they give me like one or two, words of an answer. And I'm like,